Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Beauty Babes. It's your girl, Beauty by Angelica, and I'm back with another YouTube tutorial. So in today's tutorial, my client was going for a soft glam, and we went ahead and added some graphic liner, and we added the pink graphic liner just to give it that pop of color. I'm actually going to be starting off with her brows, and I'm going to be using the Morphe brow pencil in chocolate mousse, and I'm going to be working that into her brow.
You can't stop chasing the dreams of your life just because when you do it, you're going to have to do it all by yourself.
After applying that product, I'm going to use the other side of the brow pencil, and I'm going to use the spoolie to kind of just buffer that out. Then I'm going to go ahead and start on the next brow, and you guys can kind of see from a better angle of how I achieve that brow. And once again, I'm taking that spoolie brush and I'm just really working that product through the brows just so I can make sure that the brows look very nice and precise. Next, guys, I'm going to be going in with the e.l.f. Cosmetics Hydro Concealer. And I believe this is in the matte. And I'm going to go ahead and just carve out her brows using a flat brush that I did get from P. Louise. And honestly, this is one of my favorite brushes that I love to use for brows. It just really gives me a real precise definition for the brows. And honestly, I'm able to really work that concealer and move it throughout the brows. I just really love it because it's really honestly my go-to brush for brows because it's just so defined and it really gets my lines really crisp. And who doesn't love a crisp brow? Next, I'm going to go ahead and prime the lid, just preparing it for eyeshadow. I'm using the P. Louise base in the shade Rumor 4, and I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out to make sure that I have a real nice even base and a blank canvas that I can go ahead and start to work on. Next, what I like to do is I like to use a setting powder just to kind of just go over the areas where I use the concealer just to make sure that there's no creasing in her brow or in her lid once I apply eyeshadow. In this soft glam, we're going to be using more neutral tones, brown tones, and I'm going to be using this palette called the Gemini from Milk Cosmetics, and I just honestly love the browns and the color coordinations in this palette. So I'm just working that light brown shade as a transition shade before I start with the other shades. Next shade that I'm going into is kind of like a darker brown, a little bit darker than the first color that we put down. And I'm just basically working that color into that transition color that we had. And I'm just really buffering out the edges just to make sure that there's no harsh lines and that we have like a real smooth base and a really beautiful blend. Moving forward, I'm going to be using the P. Louise base in the shade Rumor 0, and I'm going to be working that shade in the inner corner of her eye. And I'm going to be using this base to really blow out the cut crease. We're not doing a defined cut crease today. We're just doing a real blown out, soft, blended cut crease. So this is how I achieve it, guys. It's so important to make sure that you buffer out that product and make sure you really blend that into the inner corner of her eye because you don't want the product to be wet because you are going to be throwing a matte shade on top and you don't want it to be muddy. So I am going to be using this white shade from the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. I'm going to be working the shade Certify to blend into those brown shades to get that real soft, effortless blend. Next, I'm going to be using the Makeup Plug Cosmetics Diamond Diva pigment on top of where we put that white eyeshadow, and I'm just basically putting that on top just to give it that nice like sparkle and that glitter that I'm looking for. I simply just spray my brush and then I dip into the product, and this is how it comes out. Like, oh my gosh, y'all see the pigment? So pretty. Moving forward, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Lasting Drama Gel Liner to line up her eyes. And honestly, I like to use gel liners because I feel like I kind of have more control versus a liquid liner. I don't know. Sometimes it'd be super wet, so I really don't like that. So I really do like to use the gel liner because I just feel like I have the control over the product. I just feel that gel liner is super easier for me. Like, it's not super watery or runny or anything like that. Like, I really have the full utmost control over the product and where I apply it. And the eyeliner that I'm going to be using for the pink is going to be from NYX Cosmetics in the pink shade. Next, moving on to lashes, I'm going to be applying some really cute lashes. They're Meek lashes, but they are not 25 mm's. They are, I believe, like 20 mm's. So yeah, still very cute, still very natural, and not too much. Next, I'm going to be cleaning off her face, and then I'm going to go ahead and moisturize her face with the Pond's moisturizer for dry skin. Next, I'll be going in with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Honestly, y'all already know this is my favorite primer. I just love to use this primer on my clients because I really feel that it grips the makeup to the face. Next, I'm going to be using the calamy lotion using a flathead brush, and I am just going to make sure that I work this product in evenly on all the parts of her face that are oily, like her cheek, her T-zone area, underneath her nose, and I believe that I went on the forehead. So yes, I went ahead and added that on her forehead. I just basically added the calamy lotion in all her T-zone area where she gets oily. Now that our face is all prepped for foundation, I'm going to be using the Maybelline foundation. I can't exactly remember what shade this was that I used, but I believe it was 340 or 355. But yeah, we went ahead and just evenly coated her face with this foundation shade. I'm also going to go ahead and make sure that I line up her brows with my flathead brush like I do in my other videos. If y'all have not checked them out, make sure y'all do. But yes, I love this technique, and I just feel like I use foundation instead of concealer because I just really don't like a halo brow. I like everything to look the same and very symmetrical, and I don't want it to have any flashbacks. So this is the method that I use, and I honestly love it. So once I'm done lining up her brows, I'm going to be using the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist on her face before I stamp out her foundation.
You can't wait on their approval. You can't wait on their support. Sometimes you just got to run and look behind you and say, everybody who wants to run, run, but I can't stop running because you're not running with me. Listen to me, hear me. You can't stop chasing your dream just because somebody in your life won't chase it with you. You can't stop believing in yourself just because somebody in your life won't believe in you. You can't stop chasing the dreams of your life just because when you know when you do it, you're going to have to do it all by yourself.
Using my Real Technique brush, I'm going to be just stamping in that foundation. Do y'all see how easy it is to just stamp it in? That's why I like to use the method of dragging the foundation down onto the face and then just stamping it in. It's honestly so easy for me, and I feel like I get a really beautiful base. Next, I'm going to be moving on to concealer. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I'm going to go ahead and place this concealer underneath her eyes, underneath her nose, on the bridge of her nose, and at the top of her brows, and on her chin. Next, I'm going to be going in with Juvia's Place, and I'm going to be using their foundation sticks as a contour stick. I'm going in with two shades, one a little bit lighter and then one a little bit darker, just so I can definitely get that effortless blend that I'm looking for. I am going to be contouring her nose as well. So I'm going to be just applying just a shade, maybe two shades lighter than the first concealer that we put down. And I'm literally just putting this a little bit underneath her eyes just so I can make sure that I really have a light effect underneath her eyes and just on the high points of her face. For blending out her concealer, I'm going in with the Continuous Setting Mist Spray from Morphe once again, just so I can go ahead and set her face before tapping in all of these products. I'm going to be using my Real Technique brush to dab in my contour on her forehead, cheekbones, Then next I'm going to be going in with my Real Technique brush, and I'm going to go ahead and start to blend out that concealer. I let my concealer sit just for a little while because I really want the full coverage that it's going to give. I feel like when you go in and you just go straight in and blend out your concealer, you're not getting the coverage that you're really looking for. So I like to let my concealer just sit a little bit, and you can really just see how that concealer is really working and giving me that full coverage that I'm looking for. So guys, I'm going to continue to just blend out this concealer in all the places that I applied concealer. I did initially want to record me actually doing the powder, but I ended up recording the powder part off camera. So we're just going to hop straight into lips. I already set her face. I already put blush, contour, all that good stuff. I don't know why my camera didn't catch that, but it just didn't catch it for y'all. I will definitely catch it in for y'all for my next video, but moving forward, we're moving on to the lips. I like to use a powder on the lip liner part. I don't really necessarily go in with a pencil. I just use a powder, and then I go in with the concealer to give me that real beautiful ombre effect. And I have my client just mesh her lips together, and I really just blend it out with a brush. Honestly, I just feel like it really gives me that effortless blend in the lips that I'm really going for.
You can't stop chasing the dreams of your life just because when you know when you do it, you're going to have to do it.
And next, after we blend out that concealer on the lips, I'm going in with the NYX Cosmetics Butter Gloss and Fortune Cookie. And I'm putting that on top of where we applied the concealer. And honestly, y'all, look at these lips. Like, just look at them. They look so pretty. Wait till it's over. Wait till it's done. Then after I'm done with the lips, I like to just use my continuous setting mist one more time just to lock in all that makeup. And then I like to use my foundation brush and just really pat everything out to get that seamless blend, honey. Look at the skin, y'all. Then I go in with like a gloss to go right on top of the new lip. And I just really love how this whole makeup look came out. Like, look at it, y'all. Look at the skin, look at the brows, look at the eyes, look at the lips. Like, she loved it. All right, my beauty babes, that is the end of this tutorial. I just want to thank everybody who has tuned in. If you haven't watched any of my previous videos, make sure y'all tune in. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you guys subscribe so you can be a part of the Beauty Babe gang, period. And I'll talk to y'all soon in my next video.